Hello, all. Welcome back to Long Avenue Productions. This is Gabby, and I'm back with another Drag Race review, this time for episode 11 of season 18. Okay, now, if y'all are going to say that Nene is mean and problematic, can you please show us evidence of her doing so? Because that makes no sense to me. I've never heard or seen Nene be so. She's no more shady than a Mikey Meeks, who everybody loves. So I don't understand what they're talking about. I think that letting her competitors dictate how she shows up in this competition is completely not cool. I would take a Discord approach and be unbothered. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. It's too bad. And the judges' critiques made no sense. Like, oh, you just have to soften it a bit. She should not have been on the bottom. I really think this was like the producers were bored, or they needed to justify who they were going to put in the top four, so they're doing their work a little early. You know, it's so funny that the two queens who had the most to say about Discord still being in the competition have been on the bottom multiple times, and we're also on the bottom again. Mikey put Discord as first in the roast because she wants to see her gone. She wants to see her falter, which, you know, okay, that's part of the game. My question is, what is the deal with y'all not liking Discord? Is it because she's easygoing and you think that you can trample on her because that's how crabs in a barrel act? I'm not sure why all this Discord hate. And honestly, just observing the dynamic between Discord and the rest of the queens, I'd say that her delusional confidence is more of a defense mechanism, because when people don't like you, the worst thing you can do is pile down on yourself and believe their nonsense. So even if, like, you know you're not going to win or do well, you have to tell yourself that you are, because you have just as much right to be in that room as the people who are trying to shade you. Discord should not have been on the bottom. She may not have been as polished and as funny, but I think that she held her own. And I think the clear two bottoms should have been the other two girls, and left it at that. All right. I love Darlene. You all know that I love Darlene. She is definitely one of the standout queens of the season. She's never roasted before in her life. I thought that her non-jokes in the workroom were funny, and they were cracking me up because she's so goofy. She just, like, goes with it. The edit, like, at the table read was either she can do well or she could bomb. In the table read, I personally felt like she just did okay. The laughs were over exaggerated. I really didn't see what the hype was. I do not love the fat jokes. I think it's not for a group of people, for a community that is all about inclusion and love is love. It seems like punching down on fat people is the last acceptable way to bully someone. And I wish that we could do better with our jokes, like more creativity than just talking about someone being fat. When Rue told Darlene that she would work the rest of her life because of her antics, because of her artistry, and I saw Darlene kind of tear up a bit, I felt for her. I definitely did, as somebody that wishes, you know, she had more opportunities and she could work more. Like, having that stability to do what you love and to create while it pays your bills is like a dream come true. And I wish her the best, because she is a bedroom queen. You know, I don't know if she got booked a whole lot prior to this show, but I know that she just didn't go out much because she was sober, and probably because of the fallout from the pandemic. She gets a big story arc. She, you know, starts out telling us, I've never roasted before. She does okay in the table read, and then she gets a ton of laughs on stage. Me personally, I did not think Darlene was like this knockout, and I personally would not have given her the win. My win would have gone to either Mikey, Jane, who we know is going to do well, or even Nene, with Discord in fourth. That's just my opinion. I'm proud of her. She swung big and it worked out, so congratulations, Darlene, but I just didn't see the hype. All right, so Juicy is next after Jane, so she's in a tough spot. You know, if she bombs this, then it's going to be even more palpable, because Jane knocked her roast out of the park. And that's exactly what happened. I do not think that Juicy lacks talent. I think that, like, when she doesn't have a clear strategy for how she's going to tell this story, it fucks her up. I wonder what she employed in the first acting challenge that allowed her to do well that she didn't do this time. That she didn't. Even Snatch Game had a plan, and she was successful with that. And so I wonder, because I know the talent is in there. Like, she can emote during her lip sync with Kenya. I looked at her, the way that she completely commanded the stage and completely commanded that song, and I said she better not go home. So the talent is in there. I just think, like, her structuring her thoughts and what she's going to do next is what trips her up. Listen, I got the ladder joke. The dropped on the head as a baby. I got it. And then I thought the producers were playing in her face because they didn't even chuckle, they didn't laugh. It's like, come on, y'all. It was not that bad. Juicy's roast per se was not bad, but it just didn't flow. She sounded nervous. The George's joke was funny. I think there was a lot of, like, editing trickery to make things less or more funny than what they were, and it was so obvious to me because the image that the show is trying to put out is not the reality that I saw as a viewer at home. And so as producers, we have to be careful with that. Are we telling the story that's believable? Because if it's not, then, like, our cover is blown. Real quick, Juicy's runway looked like a giant bonnet or jean jacket from Nope. If you know, you know. Kenya. I thought Kenya did really well in her table read. Obviously, they must have kept out the worst parts in that table read, because when she got on that stage, I felt like she was, like, relying on the fact that she was a sister girl to make it through. And I'm like, nope, still gotta have the jokes. Her tears on the main stage did not move me. We all know that Kenya is a force to be reckoned with, but I find that her lip syncs lack the emotional power that she brings to the main stage. Again, this does not make her a bad queen. This does not mean that she cannot be successful. She made 7th place, and that ain't bad. So, hate to see you go, Kenya. Looking forward to your glow up as a performer, and keep up the good work, girl. Mikey. I think her inner saboteur almost won because I was not getting any laughs personally from her table read scene with her jokes. I just thought they were okay, which is shocking because Mikey, we all know, is a great, well-rounded queen. So I'm glad she went back, confronted her inner saboteur, listened to what they had to say, took the notes, and made it better. I still think that some of her competitors outshined her tonight. This episode was weird. It was a lot. I feel like there was a lot of heavy lifting in post to make what we saw today. There's nothing much to say about Jane except congratulations. We knew she was going to do well in this challenge, especially after the first act was kind of teasing us, saying, she's finally getting into her comfort zone. She's confident in her ability to do well. She's not second guessing herself despite her track record. She's not nymphing us to death. And so I thought, she's finally confident. That means that she's not going to do well in this challenge. But no, that was a fake out. She did wonderfully. I don't have anything to say about Jane. There's really, like, nothing for me to watch except to see her ascend to the finale and eventually win the crown. I still think it is between Mikey, Jane, and Nene. I think that's our top 3. That's it, and that's all for this week's episode. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will talk to y'all later. Love you. Bye-bye.